We're back again with the living room 220 to 110 adapter. I got a new switch. I have some beef with this switch. There was a mishap with the first one. I wired it incorrectly, and ultimately I wired the high side to itself, and the switch pretty much exploded when I turned it on. Now, in my defense, well, let's defend the switch first. In the switch's defense, if I had read the labels on the back, that probably wouldn't have happened. In my defense, this is set up totally non-standard. Almost every other switch I've ever worked with, high side, output. Right, it should be L1, L2, T1, T2. This one is like this, which is totally non-standard. And I really don't like when products do that. The wiring of switches being vertical is pretty universal, and I just don't understand why this is not designed that way. I just think it's dumb when things are designed in ways that are non-standard for really no apparent reason, because it just creates confusion and causes problems. Now, I had received a comment on that video, which I actually thought was quite interesting. It was an observation that didn't come to my mind, and the observation was that this is somewhat of a safety fail, or it's a fail in terms of safety, because with a typical switch you wire the two hots on the top and then the load on the bottom. If the switch has some kind of mechanical breakdown or failure like it did, the pieces would fall to the bottom, in theory, away from the input. Now in my case that doesn't matter because the switch is going to be horizontal like this, but in most normal cases it's mounted like this, and that observation is 100% correct. Whereas with this one, should there be some kind of failure, the remnants will have one high side on the bottom to short out on. So I don't like this switch. I bought it because it was from a known brand. Now admittedly I bought this on the Amazon as opposed to at the Home Depot, because the some of the prices on certain electrical components at the Home Depot are just outrageous. Now, I prefer to go to the store and buy the product. That's my preference. Had I done that, I would have picked up on the fact that this doesn't fit in a single gang box, because I could have taken it at the store and checked it and make sure it worked, whatever, got exactly what I needed. I also would prefer to not shop at a monopoly if possible, though arguably, I mean, the Home Depot is such a big chain at this point. It's pretty much, I mean, in terms of hardware stores, there's Lowe's, Home Depot, and Ace. I mean, those are pretty much three monopolies. But the problem is, some of the electrical stuff at the Home Depot is more than double the cost of what it is at the Amazon. For example, last time I bought clamp connectors, half-inch clamp connectors, I paid $84 and change at the Home Depot, and I just checked tonight, as of the date of this taping, I can buy a box of 100 of those on the Amazon for $49 and change. That's more than double. Now, I don't trust all the stuff on Amazon because a lot of it's like weird, unknown brands that you've never heard of before, which very well could be the OEM behind the brands, known brands, but I feel like at least at the Home Depot, whatever piece of electrical stuff you pick up out of there is probably reputable. Whereas the stuff on Amazon, they just sell whatever on there, and who knows. So I went with this model switch because it's by a known brand. It's made in Mexico, which generally does pretty good quality manufacturing. So I feel like this is a safe product. Not my preferred design, but it is what it is. So I got another one here. We're going to read the manual this time and be a little more careful. Now, ironically, my my apparatus here is set up such that the high side comes in on one side and the switched output is on the other side. So in this case, this actually makes more sense in terms of the linear flow of the circuit, but it most certainly does not make sense in terms of how things normally would work. So fortunately, I took the time to do it correctly, and the wires were tin, so I was able to undo them from the switch and nothing is frayed or screwed up, and we can just go ahead and put them right onto the new switch, and this should be simple, barring I do it correctly this time, which I should do because now I'm aware of this. Even though this cost extra now because I screwed it up, it's still so worth it. I've been using the apparatus in the kitchen for a couple days now for the outdoor lights, and it is just absolutely fantastic. In this year in particular, because the cost of everything is going to be a problem, because the ad revenue has plummeted over the last month. I don't know what's going on. Normally this time of year the ad revenue goes up substantially. Typically starting in October and November and December are the highest earning months, and then it drops in January. But this year, at the beginning of November, the ad revenue was going up as normal. It went up during October, and then it was very high at the beginning of November, and then a couple days into November it dropped. It actually cut in half, and it has not recovered. So I kind of rely on that to support the different hobbies that go on this channel, which would include this absurd and out of control Christmas light display. I'm not going to have that money this year, so I'm going to be operating the display quite a few fewer hours than I normally would, and having this apparatus to be able to turn everything on and off with one switch as opposed to walking all over the house is critical to that. And it really does matter, because when you're talking outside lights alone are 60 amp draw. It's minutes. It's $1 an hour to run it. So to shut it off, if you spend 15 minutes taking a shower, or like I just turned it off when I came down here because I'm not able to see much of the display, even though I'm only going to be down here for probably 15 minutes, that's a couple dollars right there. So having this is great. It's going to allow me to save a lot of money by shutting it on and off, according to where I am in the house. Now once we get closer to Christmas, I'll leave it on a lot more often, but for now it's got to be selective. Alright, so this is now wired the illogical correct way, and I suspect that we won't have any trouble. Now this actually, I think it specified a torque to set these screws to. It said tighten terminals to 20 inch-pounds. I don't know what the heck an inch-pound is. 20 inch-pounds, there we go, good enough. This is not going to be carrying anywhere near the maximum load anyways. This is a 30 amp switch, and I did a 30 amp because 10 technically it's 30 up to here, and it only gets dropped down to 24 when I plug in that adapter. So in theory this should never pass more than 20 amps, but you know, I just feel like this should be 30 amps because the potential is there. And you know what I could also do is I could change this outlet out for the air conditioner outlet, and I could still use this adapter in the summertime, and then I'll just use this switch as opposed to wearing out the switch on the machine, because I do tend to turn the air conditioner on and off a lot. It actually is kind of funny. I forget, I was talking to another collector who was saying that he was at somebody's house and the lady kept turning the air conditioner on and off, and he said, "Oh, that's so stupid. What the heck's he turn on the air conditioner on and off for?" He went through this whole thing, and I had to say, well, I'm right there with her. I turn my air conditioner on and off all the time. And I do that because I feel like I can regulate the humidity better that way. Alright, I really hope that this works this time. It should. That's one of the things I like about electricity, is that if you do it correctly, it usually works. Whereas, you know, there's other things like the computer, which you can do everything right and it still doesn't work, or just yields some totally unpredictable result. The tree is coming tomorrow, so this really better work. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to be able to plug in the tree. I always like to have all the screws facing the same direction. Obviously it serves no functional purpose, but it just shows that somebody put a little bit of care into the job. Alright, where's my outlet tester? Hopefully it's still upstairs, I guess. Let's go plug this in and hope for some better results this time. Alright, let's try again. Much better. So now we should have two circuits that are valid of 120, which we do. Alright, so that will turn the tree on and off in one shot, and it will safely plug everything in on one plug as opposed to all over the house. So just like the front, this is a major improvement.